Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
Gaming, tech, culture.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
You're listening to the Cool Black Nerd Podcast, presented by Say What Radio.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Cool Black Nerd Podcast. This is episode number 6. We're here to talk to you about gaming, tech, and culture. My name is Jules, and my co-host is not saying anything.
I got a mouthful of grapes. My bad. Justice, who's here? Sorry about that.
All right. Well, again, welcome to the podcast. So I guess we can get started. Last week was E3. Sounds like there was a lot of, I don't know. I mean, for me personally, there wasn't anything really exciting about E3.
Yeah, you mentioned that. And I was actually honestly just looking to see what was actually coming out. I wanted to see what the Epic Store was going to do. If any of this actual controversy over Steam, Epic exclusives, PC gaming in general was going to get a light. And there was an entire event actually dedicated to PC gaming, which I thought was very cool. Because a lot of times the stuff it does have a lot of PC gaming stuff, but it's more like, BlitzCon and the other conventions for the most part. So I thought that was actually kind of cool that they had this particularly done for them.
What kind of happened with that?
So, okay, well, it just kind of blew. Well, this isn't actually specifically to PC gaming, but I will say that Keanu Reeves took over everything when he kind of blew the roof off, showing up that he would be Johnny Silverhand in Cyberpunk 2077, which is a long-awaited title. Also, there were some announcements for their games such as Shenmue. I forgot the other name of the game that I was actually into because I'm sorry, I'm trying to fight this ogre right now, but you know what? I forgot to actually start the stream, Jules. So you won't be able to see this one. The other ones are still up on Twitch, but we're playing Destiny right now. Like I said, one of the biggest announcements, or kind of almost broke the internet for a good, 5 hours, was Keanu at E3. Then their backlash seemed to turn when people were a little bit upset that Cyberpunk 2077 seemed to be a little bit more, how should I say, mayonnaise?
Mayonnaise plated. All right.
So a lot of people were noticing, and I'm not really sure how they didn't notice this before because they had actually put out the cover art previously, that a lot of the things within the game were slated towards more people of the Caucasian persuasion. There were some instances where they were showing minorities as some sort of animal or hybrid type thing. And they were always shown in not the best, what people feel aren't the best light. They haven't played the game as of yet, but they were saying they did not like that. I understand it.
Yeah. So based on what they've seen, it looks like all the minority characters were bad or some kind of weird mutated looking things.
Little bit.
And all of the good or, heroes of the story were white.
Pretty much.
Okay. I mean, I'm sad to see that. If that's still, what's going on in games these days. I honestly haven't really followed Cyberpunk too much. I'm not sure that it's a game that I would really be interested in. I mean, possibly though. We'll see. I mean, it's pretty cool when you have, to me, controversy aside, I think it's pretty cool when you have well-known people kind of take on a role in the game and you kind of start getting that crossover between games and movies. I like having that sort of kind of entertainment or that star factor
caliber
attached to games.
And Keanu is killing it right now. He's in everything.
Yeah. As far as this controversy goes, unfortunately, in my opinion, the people who make games currently or game studios, they're not the most diverse places. Kids, get your STEM education going, learn how to code at an early age, so that we can start having more representation in these places. And stuff like this won't happen.
True.
You'll start to see games be more reflective of culture at large. Yeah, that's what I have to say about that. And I'm proud of myself because, I'll go on a rant.
Please don't.
Sometimes, but I'm good though. I'm going to let it go.
But there were a lot of games that were announced. Nintendo game or their little announcement, it was kind of like, I will say
that's
Doom.
The one I was the most excited for.
Really?
Yeah, Link Reawakening?
Nah.
The Awakening of Link? I need that. That would almost make me go buy a Switch just for that one game.
Well, honestly, I've never really been a real big Zelda fan. My son is.
Okay.
Never really was my cup of tea. But I will say that the Doom the Doom that had me. I was like, I may have to go see someone on this because I need to play right now.
See, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do you a favor. Although that trailer looks nice, I would suggest you go ahead and play Doom now on PC or PlayStation 4 before you get real excited.
Why?
It's I'm trying to think of what I can compare it to.
Please, because I like the Doom now.
Oh, you like Doom now?
Yeah.
Oh, well, never mind then. That might be right up your alley.
What is it appealing to it about you? I mean, what is it not appealing to you?
It's almost like the action is too fast. To me, a lot of it, I don't know. It's too fast, and to me, I guess it's too scripted, if that makes sense. Like it's on the rails to me. Like, I don't know. I'm more of a, give me something I can explore. Let me run around and kind of do what I want to do.
Well, I've always kind of been one of those people, I started off doing that. My very first game that I think was like Streets of LA or some shit. I forgot what it was. It was like the predecessor to GTA or whatnot.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
But it had a story that you had to follow. And of course, Resident Evil was that was like that was one of the ones that I had bought myself and scared the shit out of me. But I've always liked those types of games. Dead Space was one of the ones that got me as well. So I kind of akin it to that. And plus I played when I was a kid, Doom on, PC when it was terrible. So I kind of have affinity for those types of things. Plus I like shooting stuff. So I think
I got you. I can dig it. I'm not knocking you.
Yeah.
I'm just knocking Doom.
But that was the one that I was just like, okay, yes, what I need in my life. Honestly, I'm kind of like you because the big thing for me was the week before the announcement for Destiny. That was just, I was like, hey, this ain't at E3. I mean, E3 has some stuff coming up. That's all and great. But what about that Stadia though?
Yeah, I think Stadia was probably the biggest in that. Well, I can't even say it's a Stadia announcement.
I think so because Stadia didn't have anything for it. No big name titles attached to it. So.
Yeah, that's true. And they did kind of drop a bunch all at once. Obviously, the biggest one being Destiny 2. And then Destiny 2 Shadowkeep, not even just Destiny 2, but Shadowkeep being free if you do the Stadia Pro thing, like the little subscription service for it. So, I mean, if they get the player base going, I'm telling y'all, Stadia, watch out. Like all that PS5, next Xbox, as much as I'm interested in the PS5, it might not be necessary.
I would like to go ahead and say it. I've already told Jules this, but Jules called it on, I think it was the second episode or the first episode. Maybe it was the first episode that Google may have just shut down the gaming industry.
That's what I'm saying. It may shut it down now. I will say this, there are some concerns about the broadband or people's cable that's going to be necessary to actually, not cable, internet. That's going to be necessary to run Stadia. Yeah, and how some people now, actually a lot of people now, like Comcast, AT&T, have data caps. So you may not be able to, to actually run it at 60 frames in 4K.
Now, that was one thing that kind of got to me. As soon as the Stadia thing with with Destiny was announced, I got to researching and watching a lot of the, what do you call them? Are they channels on YouTube?
Yeah,
are they channels. Analysts? Or I don't know what you would just call
YouTube videos.
YouTube videos, the YouTube folk and the gaming community there, what they thought about it, what, they thought was great about it, and just everyone was just hating on it. Mm-hmm. Everyone. I could not find one video that week. Later on I did, but that week I could not find one that was just like, well, this is the future of gaming. This makes sense. They were just like, nobody's ready for this. Nobody wants this. I would rather have the physical copy and have my data, or people will not be able to use it in the 4K. And I don't get a subscription with it. I actually have to still buy the game. And I wanted to tackle all of those points.
Well, yeah, we can definitely go through those point by point. I will let you pick a place for us to begin.
The one that I would like to start with is the subscription service.
Okay.
So that was a big contention for a lot of the YouTube channels and folk. I don't know what to call them. But they were just so up in arms. Well, why would I pay $10 a month for this and then buy a game? That is just so stupid. Any game that you have now on any console at this particular point in time, even if you have your phone, you want to do a mobile game, you are paying some sort of fee. I don't care what you're doing. there is some sort, either you have bought a microtransaction for that mobile game to play that console game, you are paying the PlayStation Plus fee or Xbox Live. And I forgot what the Nintendo, is it Nintendo Now or something like that? Or something like that?
Yeah, I think so. I'm honestly not sure what it is, but Nintendo finally has some sort of online service that's respectable.
But you're paying some sort of fee. Plus, you're still buying that game. So the fact that they were so up in arms about that, I could not understand.
Right. I agree with you. That's exactly how I see that. That's just like paying for Xbox Live or the PlayStation service and then buying the games that you want. To me, it's exactly the same. From what I understand, it's going to be exactly the same in that $10 per month subscription is still going to get you certain games for free each month, just like the other ones do. So I don't really see the big concern about that.
Yeah, that was something I was
one of the games being free, being Destiny 2 Shadowkeep at launch, which is just ridiculous.
Mm. And also, like they were saying before, it would be everything in year one for Destiny that is free up until...
It's up until Forsaken.
Is it Forsaken or is
everything before Forsaken? Yeah. So Curse of Osiris, Warmind, all of that stuff is included in the free-to-play version of Destiny, which is called Destiny New Light. You'll have access to, Strikes, Crucible, Gambit. I'm not sure about Gambit Prime, but a lot of the things that you could just jump in and play with your friends, they're trying to take out, at least in Destiny 2. In the past, used to be a pretty high bar of entry. Like if maybe you missed the first year or you're a lapsed player and you were trying to come back in, it would be hard to play with your friends if they hadn't stopped playing because you'd have to catch up in light level. You'd have to unlock these activities and just blah, 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 blah. Like you'd have to play the game for like 8 hours before you could just jump in with your friends. So they're trying to eliminate that. So a lot of the things that they say are associated with, hey, this is just a part of Destiny, like Crucible, like Strikes, like Gambit, it's all going to be free to play. I don't think that light levels are going away, but as we've seen with the past couple of seasons they've released, there'll probably be like a quick little 10, 15 minute quest that'll get you some gear that'll bring you up to a light level that's appropriate, for whatever's going on in the game at that time. Another plus in the future, you don't have to buy every season or every expansion to remain caught up in the game. They're going to do what they're calling a la carte pricing. Like if you want to buy Shadowkeep, but you don't want to get the next season, that's fine. And when the season after that comes out, if it has something you want to play, you don't have to buy Shadowkeep. You can just buy that season. Just buy what you want to play what you want. From that perspective, man, I think Bungie's making all the right moves with the game. And we're starting to see the popularity come back. Like I think on Twitch now, they're starting to get back up. Well, not to the numbers that they've had in the past, but they're starting to see an increase with over 1 million viewers per day again.
Well, actually, I think they are getting back to what they were in the past now.
Well, I mean, like, at the height of Destiny, like that was the only almost thing happening.
Honestly, you can't really use that because at that time, there really wasn't a lot of people playing other games at that time. So, I mean, it was like Dota or League of Legends. It was mainly that was it.
Okay.
So I always don't count that. That's just me.
All right.
But another thing that I thought was very, very great in this is the cross save thing. So I can play it even if I have bought it on this, I can then go play it on that. And I think the only one that does not play fair in that, well, no. They added it in later. In the beginning, when they announced it, it was PC, Xbox, your mobile game, of course, the Stadia, and that was it. Then once they saw that everyone else had done it, PS5 or PS4, whatever it's going to be on, jumped in.
I don't know that it played out that way. This is the understanding that I got. From what I understand, just articles I read, Bungie had not announced cross save yet.
Yes.
And they were continuing to negotiate with them with Sony, but Sony didn't approve it until the day before they had their live stream.
Well, from what I'd actually seen, that they'd actually gone ahead and announced it on the live stream, and everything in the live stream, they were like, it's crossplay. I don't remember them saying anything about PlayStation. And then eventually I saw
they did. The first time they brought up cross save, they did specifically say like cross save is coming to every platform. And they like looked at the camera and were like, every platform, including Sony PlayStation. So it was like their official announcement, Sony was definitely included. But they were negotiating with clearly everyone else had already agreed, but Sony was the holdout until the day before, at least until the day before.
So another point that made me mad about watching these videos was them saying that it's not the future of gaming. Nobody wants to do that because they want the physical media. And we've had this discussion before.
Oh, yeah,
no one has anything that's physical media anymore. Even if you buy like a physical copy, most likely it comes with the disc. Not even the disc, but you get the box and there's a code within that box. And a download
code. Yep.
Yes. Most of the time, very rarely is there any disc that actually comes with it. And then if you do buy the disc, or the company is kind of more nostalgic and gives you a disc, you put the disc in and it tells you still need to download
the game anyway.
So I didn't understand what they were saying, that not everybody wants to do that. And they were saying what happens. This is another point. Stadia is down, because Google Cloud has actually had some issues in the past few weeks or so where it brought down a lot of websites, Shopify's, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, everything that was pretty much Google, like Instagram, Facebook, was pretty much down. They were like, what happens when I want to play my game and I can't do that? The same thing that happens
Same thing that happens now when PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live goes down.
And and that happens a lot.
Yeah,
lot.
Yeah, the answer to that question is you don't play the game.
Yeah. And they were like, well, no, I'd still be able to play. What game?
I don't know what game you're talking about.
Every single game that I know of at this point in time still has to have an online connection in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
And that pisses me off so much. And they were saying, again, one of the things that I said before, you're not paying for the actual game anymore. You're paying for access to it. And it's like, basically, yeah.
You're right.
You've been doing that for years.
In that conversation that we had about it, I was like, yeah. And whether you like it or not, we've been doing it for years. Like, it's too late to put that cat back in the box. It really is. Like, we let it go when they started it, and now it's too late. Like, that's...
Yeah.
Whether you buying that game on PC, console, whatever, you're absolutely right. It's either coming with a code in the box or a disc that don't have nothing on it.
That little plastic piece.
Yeah.
What am I doing with this?
Yeah, the disc you put in your console just told the PlayStation, oh, go ahead and download this game.
I was really shocked at how hard they came at the game, saying that they didn't want this and it wasn't anything that anybody wanted. It wasn't the future of gaming and this is going to suck. The only thing that I thought had a merit in any way, shape, or form was the data cap thing. But I really believe that that'll be more along the lines of how they do, what do you call that? YouTube streaming at this point in time, which is basically is based on your connection. You can still have that 4K stuff, even if you have under 25 megabits or 10 megabits, but that's going to eat up your shit, period. They will still stream it to you, and it will also be very choppy and things like that. Now, if you have a faster connection, I do still think it'll be not 4K, but kind of like a lower grade, like they do right now with high definition. You got 1080p and 720p.
1080p, 1080i. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's exactly how it's going to be. I do believe it'll be a sliding scale. They had a little chart up. The chart that I saw, most of the chart was like 60 frames per second. Mm-hmm. Which honestly is probably more important than the actual resolution as far as, performance of the game itself. Now, obviously, the 4K resolution is going to look the best, but as far as just performing in the game, and if you're playing a multiplayer game, you being competitive with everybody, the 60 frames per second is what you want. The truth is, if you don't have the speed to support it, I think most people are going to end up playing at 1080p or 720p, but still at 60 frames. 4K, I think they were saying that would be like 35 megabits per second, which for people who do have like, let's say quality home internet, that's actually not that big of a deal. The only problem that I see is that depending on, what cable provider or internet provider you have, some of those plans do have a cap.
Actually,
and most of them do. Okay. So I can see you running into issues with that, and they definitely will hit you with overages. If you are, running that game in 4K, 60 frames per second all month, you are definitely going to run over that cap. So,
but
it's going to be, honestly, it's going to be on you.
Honestly, with that,
lock it at 1080.
Once you get to a certain level, the company will contact you and like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And I also believe that they are working with the companies and I'm pretty sure this is where internet is probably going to go up a bit, possibly, because, the whole FCC thing right now where they were trying to do the net neutrality thing to begin with. So there may be some issues where this stuff. Oh, you want to play this game? You know, okay, we'll raise your data cap for $100 or $50 or something like that. But you're still paying the $50 a month or whatever price point that you had to begin with. I do believe that's going to happen. I also understand what they're saying or what they were trying to say in regards to, well, not everyone wants to play online. But unfortunately, because they don't have the infrastructure or, you know, someone out in the boonies isn't going to be able to play. Honestly, they were never playing. There was no way you were on the internet trying to play any game and you had like dial-up type internet.
Yeah, that's true.
If you had a bad connection, yeah, you got on, but most likely you got booted from a lot of stuff to begin with. It was just not going to work.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, a lot of those concerns that they're bringing up are just concerns that currently exist and where we are with gaming.
Yeah.
It's not anything new. I think the issue that Stadia is setting out to address is I don't have to take the console with me to play my game. And I think that it is going to handle that very well. To me, like I said, I still believe it's the future of gaming. All they have to do is not fuck it up. And I mean, that's a high bar for companies that clearly. I mean, as long as it's done right, the pricing seems reasonable to me so far. Like individual games that I've seen announced for it doesn't seem like they're going to cost any more than they cost, you know, if you just buy it for PC or what they cost now. Mm-hmm. The subscription, you have a choice with that, actually. If you don't want the subscription, you don't have to get it. The subscription, $9.99 a month. That's a little bit more than what I pay for PlayStation Plus. But then again, I always buy it on Black Friday when it's like $20 cheaper. But the service that this is offering to me is probably worth that. Because again, even though I have PlayStation Plus and they say they have remote play, it's doo-doo. Like it's not even worth talking about the remote play that they think they have. So I don't know. I think that it's going to be incredibly popular. Is it going to work for everybody? Like people who live in rural areas or don't have access to you don't even really have to be a fast internet connection, but a decent internet connection. Mm-hmm. No, but like you said, they're not playing games now anyway.
And I get that it will alienate a lot of people from that. But it's no different than Instagram. I'm sorry. It's just going to be a FOMO type thing, fear of missing out. Yeah. I just really can't see that being a determining factor of the way that they're making it out to be, if it's not now.
Yeah. And honestly, I think, this is a topic that we did want to talk about. I'm just going to jump into it. I really think it's a symptom of right now we have a culture of outrage or just anger, like whatever is announced.
Cancel culture.
Cancel culture. It's just automatically trash. Like it almost doesn't matter what it is. It's going to be bad. Like no matter what they do.
I will say a lot of the stuff that they do is valid when it comes to like stuff with loot boxes or giving some sort of consumer advocacy to the stuff. But in this instance, and this all came about from the CNET piece that basically just kind of called out all of the gaming channels about this stuff, saying that there's money in just being angry. Now, I didn't believe that until I actually saw this backlash. And I was like, come the fuck on.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I've noticed even outside of gaming, like even in just everywhere. Like randomly see a video on YouTube, like this person destroys this person.
Yeah.
Or Pusha T murders Drake with his diss song. Like, come on, man. Like,
Did he really?
That's what I'm saying. Drake running around. He's at the parade in Toronto today, living his best life. Finally got a championship for the city. He ain't worried about the diss song no more. I'm just saying everything is so extreme. And like you said, you looking at YouTube right now, and especially looking at the gaming community, to me, it seems like that's the case. Like people are having just this outrage or this anger just because right now that's how you get money. That's how you get plays. That's how you show up on people's search algorithms by having these bombastic titles and ranting and raving about whatever without just taking sure. So to me, it does start with like a legitimate concern. Like, okay, people are probably going to run over their data caps with Google Stadia. That's a legitimate concern.
Yes.
And that's something that needs to be discussed. But there's two sides to that. Like, yeah, it is possible for people to run over their data caps if they're trying to stream 4K 60 frames per second for 24 hours a day for the entire month. Like, yeah, you're probably going to go over your data cap. But that doesn't mean that the service is just trash. It needs to be thrown away entirely.
No one wants it.
Yeah, nobody wants it. It's the worst. Nah, it hasn't even come out yet. You're just calling it the worst thing ever.
I see a lot of it too. Like you said, it starts out with a very valid concern, like the whole thing with the Epic Store. So still, I cannot believe that Epic Store is just like, oh, come to us. You don't even have a fucking shopping cart on your site. And if people want to buy more than one game, they then get flagged for fraud. I'm like, what? So that type of stuff, yes, that is a very valid concern. Be pissed off about that. Loot boxes, the way that they're taking over and the probability of what they're making these people pay for what they might get. Yes, they're trying to make it normal so it can be targeted to little kids. Yes, let's all do that. But when a game comes out, and I'm talking about you, Star Wars, and the only thing they say is, oh my antagonist, goddamn, you don't even know if he a non-playable character. This was just cutscene footage. Are we serious right now?
Who knows? Yeah, they were serious apparently. Now I do have thoughts about Star Wars. My thoughts have nothing to do with that, and my thoughts are not positive. My thought is the game doesn't look good, but
wow.
I mean, that's all I have to say about it, though. Like, it doesn't look like it's going to be a good game. But outside of that, I have nothing to say because, like you said, there's not really any gameplay footage. The cutscenes look so bad that I can't imagine the game being good. And that's all I have to say about it. But as far as like any extra stuff, like the white male protagonist and all that stuff, we don't know any of that. I'm not going to speculate on that.
Yeah, that type of stuff, I get representation matters. It really, really does. But you are playing a game, and in most games, they let you pick and design your own character in most of them. If you don't like that, don't play that game. Don't give your money to that company. Voice your concerns. The only thing that I don't like, and I get why they do it, this is part of that, like I said, the cancel culture. So one big thing that they do a lot now is review bomb. And review bombing is basically this. The company has done something that the consumer doesn't like, especially when it comes to gaming. Previously, the only way that they'd actually had any way to communicate this was through some sort of forum, usually on that company's website. But nowadays you have things like Twitter, Instagram, and other review sites that the company is actually watching a lot more, and people realize that they can actually talk to the developers on this particular game, this IP or whatever. They're like, okay, I can get their attention this way. I don't like that you were about to do this or thinking about to do this. So they will just put 1s and 0s as the review for that particular game, or even an older game that the company put out. It happens a lot on things like Metacritic, where they ended up having to separate the scores out for what a game was actually doing. A game is being reviewed on. So it's user score, and then it's the critic score. Steam was having the same issue as well. And they've actually taken the time to be able to separate out, oh, this particular game has seen a lot of unusual activity, and they will take out or filter out those reviews. Now you can see the filtered reviews, but it does not factor in like it did previously to the score.
Right. And we've seen the same thing on like Rotten Tomatoes when it comes to movies. Definitely seen that same thing. Even speaking of Star Wars, with with Star Wars, which one was it?
I think it was
the latest one.
Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi, just because the main hero was a female. So they decided to just review bomb the shit out of that movie. And I think that's what led to Rotten Tomatoes making a lot of changes they made. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just...
Now, I do understand that on YouTube, because so much money can be made. The only thing that I did not like is in that CNET piece, when he attacked, or not necessarily attacked, but kind of called out all of these gaming channels, he basically then went to a lot of the advertisers who are advertised up against these videos. Are you okay with your advertisements being shown against this video? And it's just like, the dude's talking about loot boxes and things like, seriously? But he's just so angry. It's
yeah. Like, I can see that too. At the end of the day, if we are talking just about boxes or something like that, he might be screaming and ranting and raving and, demanding that they throw the whole studio in the trash because of something at the end of the day that's minor, or something that's years that again, it's too late to put that cat back in the box or whatever you want to call it.
That horse in the carriage.
Put that horse back, whatever. Put that rat back in the sewer. You can't do it. It's too late. I don't know. You don't need to demonetize this man's video. To me, as long as he ain't saying nothing racist or imminently violent or whatever, anything just offensive, fine. It's good to go.
Honestly, I couldn't see cancel culture happening when we were growing up because even though things are volatile now, but I mean, think about it. Cancel culture during the OJ trial or the riots. Seriously? Nah. Rodney King. Oh, man. So
yeah, I agree. I mean,
I am very grateful that I'm able to see that a lot of these companies and some people are able to take responsibility to this. Unfortunately, can't do that for the current person who calls himself the president of this place. But still, I am happy that in some instances this stuff is actually done. But it's just like people are taking it way too far. I don't know where you go from here in some instances.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, and I know this is kind of off of the gaming and things like that, but I just thought it was interesting because it was something that was brought up. One of the Parkland survivors had his acceptance to Harvard rescinded once they found out, or it was brought to light that he had been in a group that had posted like anti-Semitic, misogynistic, racist, and just some of the most horrible shit in this group chat imaginable. It was about 2 years ago. Of course, it was prior to the shooting, but they rescinded his acceptance because of that. And he was like, well, you know, people can learn and change, and you've had slave owners as your members and all kind of things like that. It was just like, yeah, we get that. But you know, this climate in this day and age, you knew what you were saying when you said that could become public in some way, shape, or form. Also, how do you think it's going to feel that you're in the same class with someone of any of those groups and they're just super uncomfortable sitting next to you? If they would just be like, oh, okay, well, we'll just give you a pass. You live and you learn. No. Instances like that, I get it. Cancel culture works. You can't keep doing this type of stuff and thinking it's just going to always be okay. Oh, I was 16. Oh, okay. All right. Did you know what those words meant?
Yeah, I mean, social media is going to change it. Changing the lives of a lot of people. Like the things that you thought you said, you know, to your friends, or I don't know, man. If you have these hateful views, if you can't explain them like quickly, I'm sorry. I mean, it is what it is now. Like that's just, there's going to be consequences.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, you know, in some cases, there might be a legitimate reason for you to have said or done something in the past. And, you know, there is legitimate, to me, opportunity for people to grow and change. But if you haven't, to me, if we haven't seen that contrition or that change prior to me finding out that you said some fuck shit, it's hard for me to believe you.
Mm.
Like if you grew up saying and doing racist things, and then all of a sudden when you about to get drafted into the NFL or whatever, now all of a sudden, oh, I've learned and I've grown. But just last week, we saw you out here, you know, with your KKK shirt on. It's going to be hard for me to believe.
Or bros before hoes.
Yeah, that you've learned and changed. I don't know. I mean, I do know. But
to me, it was along the same lines of all of the celebrities who, and there was another one this week, her phone was hacked. And they were like, oh, hey, I'm going to release these pictures if you don't give me this money. Mm-hmm. And she was like, okay, fuck it, I'll release it myself. So she released the photos. And I'm like, in this day, are you still not getting it? Stop sending them damn pictures. Take it off your phone.
I mean, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, though. I mean, unfortunately, that's just...
I'm sorry.
That's where we are as a culture. Like, that's what happens. I'm not going to judge nobody for that.
No. What I'm saying is if you are a celebrity, stop that shit. Period. Just period. You a celebrity. Fly them out to come see the titties. Come stop.
Everybody can't get flued out, Jessica. And sometimes they're not taking pictures of that to send to nobody. Sometimes, you know, they want to see, maybe they've decided to start working out and they want to see their progress, and they don't want to see the progress with their clothes on. They want to see what it looked like when you got your your skin showing. They want to see what's up with when the skin chips come out.
Get a
they
want
to see what's cracking.
Stop that shit.
Get a flip. I mean, the flip phone ain't gonna have the high resolution camera that's necessary for me to be able to
It's
see.
some old flip phones that got some good cameras. Don't
No,
play.
they don't. No, they
Yeah,
don't.
they do. Yeah, they do.
Ain't no iPhone
Yeah, they
cameras
do.
running around. They don't
I
have
didn't say
portrait
iPhone
mode.
cameras. I didn't say iPhone
They
cameras.
don't have panorama.
What you need?
They don't
What do
have-
you need panorama taking progress pics? Nah.
Hey, I said they're starting to work out. Maybe you can't fit it all in one frame at the beginning.
Mm-mm.
Maybe you need to pan to the left and the right a little bit.
I'm sorry. If you are a celebrity, you know it comes with the territory. I'm sorry. I just do not. I don't.
I get it. So, I mean, hey, like I said, I get it. Sometimes it's just sexy time. Honestly, just the most base reason why people do that. Sometimes it's just sexy time and you got to fire one off.
I get it. I mean, I've always been one of those people that does not go into that. So guys will be like, oh yeah, send me nudes. And I'll send them like a beige picture. You wanted a nude. Or they're like, oh, send me this. Oh, and I would just screenshot a porno and just send it. I'm not doing that.
I mean, look, hey, I know to me, you have to be careful who you send that to.
Nah, I piss so many people off.
I think that I don't know, man. It's hard. Like, cause when you get in a relationship, you loving and you trust somebody. And then, sometimes it don't work out and then they just start doing some whole shit. And it's just
this
unfortunate.
Is what I don't get.
Now, the one you're talking about, it's unfortunate that she had to put the pictures out herself. But when celebrities do that, I'm kind of proud of them because to me, it's like to the people who are trying to exploit people's privacy like that, it's definitely just like, well, fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
You want to put that shit out there? Okay, fine. I'll put it out myself. Like, I'm not going to let you make money off of it, at least.
This is the thing that gets me every time. Why your face got to be in it?
Hey,
I just don't understand that.
You start feeling good.
That is where I do
maybe
not
they got
have
some
much remorse.
They got some Henny going.
Why do I need to see your face with them lips? What? Why?
Just because sometimes people just in the heat of the moment.
Nah.
Things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Mistakes get made.
And phones get hacked, which is why I'm like, why?
I mean, what are you supposed to? You got to remember, one, everybody's not as tech savvy as you and I. Apple said the iPhone does not get viruses and it doesn't get hacked. So that's what I'm trusting and believing. And lo and behold, that's wrong. So stuff happens.
That is that's
nobody for that. I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Because I've just seen so many, and I'm going to just say it, girls get completely trashed. And this is just before, my time, it was the paper pictures, the actual Polaroids and all the rest of that. Stop putting your face in that.
I mean, now, people got tattoos and stuff. They just as easily recognizable. Think about it.
Get your face
Everybody
out
know Rihanna got that, the creature.
Actually, I know a bunch of chicks with that now, so.
Well, I mean, but come on now. It don't look like Rihanna's. Rihanna's is.
I don't know.
Rihanna's is professionally done. I've seen some copycats.
Oh,
that
look a little rough. You're right.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, you can. It's more than one way to identify who these people are. So I mean, yeah, they could, cover their face up or whatever, but at the end of the day, their cookies still came out the cookie jar. I'm not saying you got to embrace it. Yes, try to be as careful as you can, but stuff happens, man. And personally, I'm not going to judge them for that. Now, where were we?
I don't know. I'm sorry. That just bothered me. The cancel culture. Angry
the whole cancel culture. Just angry YouTubers making money just by being angry at everything. And I've seen it all over the place. It's not just games. It's in sports, politics, the movies, comic, but just anything. Just angry. Because you'll mess around and see in the same video, somebody will be mad because Captain America is black now. And then by the end of the video, they mad because they don't want white Captain America to come back. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't understand. But
right,
hell, if I'm making 50 G's a week from just doing mad videos, I do this shit too. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I think most people would. But I do think it needs to stop. I think it's eroding our culture. And I'm not blaming it specifically on
gamers
or the people putting out videos on YouTube. I think that
I don't even think it's YouTube, honestly.
I don't either. I think there are other things going on in our culture as a country, and even just globally, you're starting to see people who are coming out angrily with whatever view that they have. They are popular. And I think we really need to take a step back and really evaluate what it is that we are trying to say, or what disagreement or whatever it is that we have, before we just immediately get to, I'm going to destroy this person in this debate, or this new thing that got announced is automatically trash. Like, let's really think about what are we trying to say. And you know what? I'm going to try to make that effort on in my life and even on this podcast, because I know I've just jumped out and said something is trash. I definitely have. And you know what? I'm going to try to stop doing that and then just say, this is specifically the thing, or these are the things that I'm talking about. And this is why I think it could be trash. And I will try to reserve calling something trash until I have 100% proof that that's the case. Like Anthem. As soon as I found out that Anthem was being made by EA, I said it was trash. I will admit that.
You did.
Now, I was proven right.
Yes.
But
in so many ways.
But maybe I shouldn't have just come out as strongly against it as I did.
I can't even think of anything that they actually still have that's viable right now.
It's not, man. They've already pulled a lot of the developers off of that game. I think, all of the little updates that they said they were going to come, none of that stuff has happened. They were talking about having this big event, the Cataclysm, that was supposed to, like change the world. And the little preview they showed was amazing looking. Like
it was. That looked really good.
Yeah, and then they did a little walkthrough and they just had like a blue filter and the wind was blowing.
Like, is this Instagram?
And it was still the same, like the exact same game. Like nothing was actually added to it. So I think we're going to see Anthem go free to play. I don't think you're going to see not any substantial updates to that game. I'm surprised BioWare has survived and is moving on to a different game. Hopefully whatever they come out with next is better.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I do want to talk about. Have you seen Godzilla?
Yes, I have.
What did you think of the movie?
It was complete trash.
You thought it was trash?
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Because I liked the one with Cranston in 2014. I know Dre didn't, but I liked it. It was too long, convoluted, and so many unnecessary plot points.
I'm shocked right now. I'm so shocked right now.
No, you're not.
I am shocked.
Why?
I enjoyed that movie, like, to the fullest.
Now, I will say that I enjoy, and I'm sorry, but what the fuck is it? I can't even think of the name right now.
Ghidorah?
Why the fuck did I say? I was thinking Gamora. I'm like, it's not Gamora. What is it?
No.
Ghidorah. So that was a bad CGI. Mothra was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Even, oh God.
Rodan?
Not Rodan. I was about to say, when he went down into that thing, took off his mask and didn't burn the hell up right then and there, I was like, this movie's trash.
Okay, now see, you getting into the realism of it. First of all, it's a Godzilla movie.
Whatever.
I mean, he had to be able to set the bomb off. Like, you can't just go in there and die immediately. You knew that.
That was just so unnecessary.
No, it wasn't. And then it was to me, that was the impactful part of the movie. Like, he was, for a while, he was the only guy who was like, no. Even from the first movie, he was one of the only guys. Godzilla is the good guy. Like, chill. Godzilla is here for us. He's not like all these other monsters. I mean, come to find out, none of the monsters are like the monsters, which I think is kind of dope. I liked it. I like how they set up Godzilla versus Kong coming out in 2020.
I like that part.
I thought the action was great. Me personally, I know that it had already been out in the media, but I wasn't aware of that connection to Kong.
Oh, really?
King Kong Skull.
Okay.
I wasn't. So for me, like I was just sitting there like, oh, mind blown. And you did it in a way that's not ridiculous, like in a way where it just doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't seem like you just shoehorn this in there. Yeah.
I like that the whole universe built up that they did at the end. I hate that they did it in the credits, but I did like it. So did you continue to watch once the credits started rolling?
I saw the end credits.
So
yeah.
I think that could have been built up more instead of some of the other stuff that they actually had gone through.
Well, no, I liked it, man. I liked getting the little lore behind Ghidorah and some of the other monsters, and how Rodan was the a fire demon and that kind of tied to his abilities and everything. I don't really liked it.
The whole Godzilla baby mama thing was just a little much for me.
I don't think they meant it that way.
Yeah, they did.
Nah, they said symbiotic relationship. They didn't say they out here
was his baby mama, whatever.
Nah, I don't even know how that would work. So I don't think that's what they were saying. I think they were just saying like he's the king. Well, they did say king and queen of monsters. So maybe they did try to get a little nasty. I don't know. I just thought it was dope. I thought the whole thing was dope. And I'm excited for Kong versus Godzilla. You know, I'm biased towards King Kong.
I liked Skull Island. I did not care for this iteration, though. I did not.
I got you. So finding out that they do have this connection, it led me to the Monsterverse. And Legendary Pictures has bought the rights to a lot of these monsters. And they said that, hey, you know, we are definitely trying to make a lot of movies and have them connected. But their approach is a little bit different. So they're saying that, you know, even though all of these movies are connected, we're doing them one at a time. Like we're laying the foundation brick by brick. So that's why in the original Godzilla, they're, you know, not really a relationship to King Kong. And Kong Skull Island they didn't talk about Godzilla. Yeah, they did. Actually.
Yeah, they did. Yes, they
did. You're right. Like very briefly. But it wasn't enough for you to be like, oh, this is all the same movie universe.
Well, because John Goodman's character in Skull Island
he just kind of said there's other monsters.
Yes.
But it wasn't like...
He did reference the one in Tokyo. At that point, was it Tokyo? I forgot what was the name of
wherever it was at, yeah. But did they... I don't think they actually said... Oh,
no, I don't think he said the name, but he referenced that. So that's why I was like, oh, shit.
So I don't know. I want to see how it goes. But essentially the approach that they're taking is, hey, as long as the previous movie is successful, we'll continue.
I don't think they want to have the same issue that the Mummy had, the where you
try
to build everything up then, and it just didn't work. So yeah, I don't think they want to go that route. But like I said, I liked Kong Skull Island. I liked the first Godzilla.
I liked them all. I really liked this one.
I can't.
Like I was sitting there, the first Godzilla and Ghidorah fight.
Oh yeah, that was kind of badass. It was kind of badass.
I was like, you know what, this movie is awesome, and it just. For me, it just got better from there. Rodan came out that volcano. I said, well, somebody come look at this. Somebody come give them the Oscar for Action Movie of the Year. That's probably a little overreaction, but that's how I was feeling in the moment. Okay,
so one of the reasons why I did not like it is the 11, Millie Bobby Brown in the movie.
Okay, yeah, what about it?
So you could have actually taken her out of the entire thing and the movie still would have gone on.
Well, that's just because she was in there because you got to have some people in the movie.
I get it.
That movie, Godzilla, is not about them people at all.
I get it, but they spent a lot of time on that, and it was unnecessary to me. Those parts either could have been cut out, making the movie a little bit shorter and the action a little bit more tight-knit, or going towards what I was saying, a little bit more lore building and behind-the-scenes stuff, because it was a lot of that was kind of very, oh, what did she just say? Like, if you blinked, you did not hear what she said.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one reason why, and that was a big one to me.
I don't know. It's a Godzilla movie. Like, it ain't about that. To me, they were there just to set up give me a reason for Ghidorah to have been released.
I know.
Like, that's what they are around for, to me. And I mean, hey, I liked it. I can't deny it, man. That movie was really good. I would encourage people to go see it so that we can continue to get some more of this Monsterverse goodness.
One thing I will say, I did get to see it in a different format. I've never actually been to a movie theater like this. In instances like when Mothra was first revealed, in this particular movie theater, they had 2 projectors that were on both sides of the walls, and they would project onto the walls, making the entire thing. So when Mothra's wings came out, like it came out all the way on the walls.
Oh, okay.
So it was really cool to be able to see stuff like that. And even in that aspect, that made it a lot better for me, but I still didn't enjoy it like I wanted to. So where Godzilla was kind of like ramping up to throw that fire, when his tail would actually light up, you could see that on the wall go across the screen onto the other. That was so amazing. I don't know if they have that in a lot of theaters, because it wasn't IMAX. I don't know what it was called, but I thought that was really fucking cool.
Yeah, I didn't see it that way. I didn't even actually see it like nothing. I just saw a regular old theater, and I was 100% satisfied.
Okay.
In fact, I might go see it again. But Toy Story 4 come out on Thursday, so
Oh Lord.
look forward to that review.
Keanu's in there too.
He is?
Yeah.
It's trash. So on that note, I think we're going to go ahead and call it a podcast. Episode 6 is done in the books. Mark it down. Thank you, everybody, for listening. You know, hit us up, Say What Radio. Let us know what you think. Instagram, Twitter. Go ahead.
We are getting the stuff. We do have social medias set up for Cool Black Nerd. We are just getting everything still set up because I have everything going on Say What Radio, but we're getting it for Cool Black Nerd. Do not despair, because I actually had someone say, do y'all have a page? I was like, shit, you need that too? Hold on.
Well, no, I mean, hey, look, we got the page, so don't go out there trying to snatch it up. We already got it. You're going to lose.
And we out.